Hey guys, so for today's video I'm going to be doing some aquarium nails. This is going to kind of be a little bit of an experiment because I want to do lava lamp aquarium nails, and I have done that before, but I want to do them a little bit differently. I want to do them like you know how when you're younger and if you've ever made one of those like homemade lava lamps with like a water bottle, and then you mix the water and the oil together, and like you mix the food coloring into the water, and it like, you know, you flip it up and down, and because the water and oil stay separated, like the little bubbles move around and stuff. I want to do like that and see if I can make these like an actual lava lamp kind of. And I have done something in the past where I've put food coloring inside of an aquarium nail before, and like it just doesn't really move around very much when you just put the food coloring in. It kind of sticks to like the nail tip, or like even your whatever you're using for like to create the tank, like your rhinestone glue or whatever. So I wanted to see if doing it this way would make any difference and make it so that the food coloring like flows better in the tanks instead of like sticking to the nail or the backing. This may end up being a kind of long video because I am going to be talking as I do it instead of doing a voiceover, so I can like go into a little bit more detail. Sometimes I feel like when I do voiceovers, I don't really get to go into too much detail with the way like I edit things, and sometimes like having to speed up things. So I am going to talk as I do this, and yeah, usually when I do talk as I'm doing things instead of doing a voiceover, the videos end up pretty long. Also, I did take off my previous set, only on this hand though. I started to on this one, but as you can see I have a band-aid here, and that's why I'm not taking this hand off, because when I was taking off my, like I have this pearl here, and if you watch the video that I did of this set, then you know like it has a bunch of rhinestone glue around it, so it's pretty sealed in on the nail and pretty secure. But when I was taking it off of this nail, I was using my nippers, and I was like having to squeeze pretty hard to try and get up under there and get it off. And then when it finally gave and like popped off, my nippers like just slammed shut, and I got my pinky, and it actually ended up breaking the skin and started bleeding, and there's like this nasty mark. So I do have a band-aid on here, and I don't want to take these, this set off of this hand, because I would have to take the band-aid off, and I do have, you know, an open wound, and I don't want all that dust getting in there, because it is still gel product, and even though it is fully cured, like that getting into the open wound and like getting into your bloodstream and stuff, I don't want to risk like getting an infection or even developing like an allergy from that. So this hand is kind of out of commission right now. Also ended up burning myself when I was cooking the other day, so we got that. But anyhow, I just went ahead and sized out my tips. I am using some long coffin tips, or like extra long coffin tips. I don't remember if these are extra long or extra long. I don't know. I got them a while ago off of Amazon. But anyhow, I just sized out, I just sized out these tips, and I already marked them on where I need the tank to end. So to do that, all I do is put the tip on my nail like I would normally, and then just take a Sharpie, take a Sharpie and just mark out a spot above like my nail and the tip of my finger. I do leave a little bit of extra space to make sure that like the tip of my finger here isn't pushing up against like the seal that's going to be there, because it's kind of uncomfortable. So I do leave a little bit of an extra space than what is needed. Also with Sharpie, you can just wipe that off with some alcohol. It will come off so easy. So I have that all done for all of the tips. And then for, wait, okay, sorry, I misplaced my Ziploc bag. But anyhow, for the backing, I am going to be using this rhinestone glue. It is supposed to be a non-wipe rhinestone glue. I just got it. I've never used this before, but I just real quick bought it off of Amazon the other day so I could have a no wipe rhinestone glue, because the rhinestone glues that I have aren't really no wipe. So this definitely works a lot better with a no wipe rhinestone glue. You can use a wipe off rhinestone glue if you want. You just have to either wipe off the sticky layer or apply a top coat, and then like here apply the top coat and then put the nail tips on that wet top coat to seal it in. I'm not really sure how well that will work as far as sealing the tanks and all, so I definitely recommend a no wipe rhinestone glue to do this. I am going to be doing the dash method for creating these aquarium nails. If you don't know Dash Nails on Instagram, she created this method of doing aquarium nails this way. She also sells an aquarium nail kit that comes with like the glue and the oil and stuff that you need to create an aquarium nail. It also comes with like a laminated sheet with like the instructions on how to go about doing it, that you can also use to create like your backing for the aquarium nail. And I know for a while she wasn't selling them, but now she's back to selling them. I will link her Instagram down in the description below, so if anyone is interested in checking her out and maybe getting her kit, to her aquarium kit, you can check that out. But I am just going to follow like her method of doing this. I have done this method quite a few times on my channel. I've also done just your usual like aquarium nail where you do it straight on your nail, which I prefer to do it that way. It's a lot easier for me. This way is a little bit trickier for me, but it's really not that difficult. So what I'm going to do here is just take this rhinestone glue, why is that sticking to the lid? Okay, I'm just going to take this rhinestone glue and apply some of it to this Ziploc bag. You can like take some plastic wrap and wrap up your like nail palette, or if you have some sort of like flat surface, you can wrap with plastic wrap. If you have the Dash kit, then you can, you know, use that laminated sheet, or you could laminate your own piece of paper, or like I'm going to assume it's cardstock so it can be a little more sturdy than just a regular piece of paper. I've used, if you go back and look at some of my other ones, I've used like index cards that were still wrapped in the plastic to just put on here to create the backing, because it does like come off very easily off of plastic. But this time I am just going to use a Ziploc bag to do this. And I'm just trying to create like a rectangle where I can set down all the nails onto it. This glue is super thick though. It's not as thin as the, okay, that was great. It's not as thin as the other rhinestone glue that I used to use to do this, but I couldn't find that one on Amazon. But also I didn't really look too hard, but I also searched for it specifically, so I don't know. But this is thick. It's even like it's runny and it runs and like flows, unlike the Nail Couture glue that I have and the other one, the Glitz Accessories and whatever it's called glue. Those are super thick. They like don't move in the pot at all, but once you start working with them, like they are not as thick to spread, and like this one is just seems so sticky, whereas those other ones aren't. I don't know how I feel about this glue. It'd probably be really good like if you're using it how you're supposed to use it, you know, and putting like rhinestones on a nail, and will really hold them in place so they're not running all over the place. But for this, it is quite thick. And like for this layer, you do want it to be kind of thick-ish, but not like super thick, you know, kind of like, you don't want it super thick, but you don't want it super thin either. So somewhere in between. There's a ton of bubbles. I don't know if you can, probably can't see because of the glare, but there are a ton of bubbles in there because I am having a little bit of a hard time spreading that out. But anyhow, now I'm just going to take the tip, and I have seen people will like file the edges here to help make sure that the glue adheres and like sticks to the tip, because I have seen people say that they have issues with the backing popping off. I've never had that issue, but also whenever I do the aquarium nails like this, like I don't wear them for an extended period of time. Like I literally just put them on for pictures and videos, and then I take them off right away. So I don't know. If you feel more comfortable filing it to make sure that it sticks, then go ahead and do it. But I'm not, because I have never had the issue. So I just kind of eyeball it, squish it in there. You do want to make sure that it's in there and that the glue is like on like both sides, like kind of sealing it. So you do kind of want to press it in there a little bit to make sure that it's going to be sealed. And I don't have enough to put all 5 on here, so I will have to cure this and then do those other 2 when I'm done. So I am just going to go ahead and cure this for a full 60 seconds in my lamp. Okay, so now that that's cured, just going to pull that off, and as you can see, it comes off super easy. And it is fully cured on both sides. You know what? I probably could have put one of the tips going this way. Whatever. I am going to just set that aside for a second and just make another backing piece. And obviously you don't have to do like multiple all at once. You can do them separately. Honestly, I feel like that's a little bit easier to do them separately, so then you don't have to worry about cutting the tips apart. But to save a little bit of time, I am just doing them all together at the same time, or at least, why is there a bug? I'm going to do those 3 and then these 2. This glue is so thick, which isn't a bad thing, but it's making it a little difficult to use right now. It's like thick and sticky. Like I said, it's probably really good for when you're actually using it to adhere charms and like rhinestones and stuff. Probably especially those larger ones that definitely like to slide around, but making things difficult. And then because like for mine and this glue, now I'm just gonna cure those for 60 seconds. And because it's clear, like the light penetrates all the way through, so like the back should also be cured, like fully cured through as well. If it's not, just flip it over and stick it back in the lamp, but honestly it should be since they are clear. So while that's curing, I am just going to go ahead and cut these apart. Oh, this is a stiff glue too, like it is. It's kind of cracking as I'm cutting it. I don't know. This bug, I don't know how it's gonna do when it comes to this. Oh well, we'll see how this works out. Cause like the other glue that I usually use, like it is like thick, but it doesn't cure like this hard. It's a little more flexible. This one is like hard. I don't know how I feel about this. This one ended up a little wrinkly. It's okay. And I am just kind of cutting around like the edges, the edges and like down here, so I have less to do in a minute. And like it's easier and I can get up close because, well, it'll make sense when I show you. It's like crunchy. My other rhinestone glues are not crunchy when they are fully cured. Oh, that just popped off of there. Okay. Well, that made that easier. Okay, so now for the next part of getting rid of all this excess, well, not even in frame, getting rid of all this excess that's all around here. You can just go ahead and file it, but to make it easier and save time, I take my nippers, which are a straight edge nipper. You definitely want a straight edge nipper so you can go right up against this. I think most nippers are straight edge anyhow, but you want some sort of like straight edge thing to cut. You could also use nail clippers, but you don't want the curved edge. You want the straight edge. which is why I don't use these to go all the way up, because they are a little bit curved and you just aren't able to get right up next to the nail. So I just take it and I clip it. And these are the clippers that you know, about took my pinky off. So I'm trying to be super careful. Oh my gosh. There's like shards of rhinestone glue flying everywhere. Oh my gosh. Usually it's not this difficult. Because like I said, the glue usually doesn't cure this hard. Anyhow. I wonder if I can just... I'm afraid if I just like pull it off, it's gonna pull the whole back off, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna cut it. Good Lord. I like when it does that, it takes off the... I am not in frame. It takes off the whole side. I'm sorry. I'm like getting really bad being not in frame. But also I'm like wanting to hold it far away from me. All these shards. That's why I cut off like some of that excess that's like hanging from down here off the sides, because if it was like still all this down here, like I wouldn't really be able to get all the way up to the nail, because it would like hit in there and wouldn't allow me to go all the way down. So that's why I like to cut a little closer to the tips whenever I'm cutting them apart, and not leaving a whole lot of excess like around. This better be like really well sealed. With how difficult this is being. I don't know how I got my pinky, because I always hold them like this. Okay. I'm just going to clean this up real quick. Okay, now on some of these, ignore the crusty, dry lookingness. I just wiped my mat down with some acetone. But anyhow, if you can see like on the edges how there is still a little bit of hangover there, you can just lightly file that. I'm using this Melody Susie 100/180 grit file. I'm using the 180 side because I don't want to take a lot off. I also don't want it to be too rough and end up creating a hole or like unsealing any of this. And I also want to use very little pressure again to make sure that I'm not creating any holes or breaking this seal at all, which can still happen even if you are being super careful, but less likely to. Also, I do have a discount code with Melody Susie. think you get like 12% off. And that's for anything on their website. Any of their like drills or their e-files. Or their hand files or tips. They have like tip cutters. They have acrylic, which I've used. Really good acrylic. What else do they have? Dust collectors. Do they have lamps? I think they have lamps too. Yeah, you can save 12% on your purchase on Melody Susie if you use my discount code. It's in the description below. Also, I do have an affiliate link, so if you purchase anything through that link, like, it does earn me a commission. I don't know how much it earns me. No one's ever purchased anything through it, but also don't feel like you have to just because I said that. And also, you don't even have to purchase through that link. You can just use my code if you want. That's why people say to file underneath. Otherwise, the backing comes off. Okay, I'll have to fix that. I'll do that in a minute. But, yeah, I do have some discount codes. I have Melody Susie, Nail Reserve, Madam Glam, Born Pretty. I think that's it. The Nail Reserve, Melody Susie, and Born Pretty, if you purchase through the link that is in the description, like I said, it is an affiliate link, so it does earn me a small percentage of whatever you purchased, but you don't have to purchase anything through those links. Like, if you just go onto the website and you use my code, like, you can just use my code. It's fine. I don't think that if you just use my code, it will, I don't know what happens if you just use the code and not purchase through the link. But I just want you to be aware of all that, you know, full transparency here. But again, like I said, if you don't feel like you have to purchase anything through any of my links or use any of my discount codes if you don't want to, like, it is 100% totally up to you if you would like to or not. Just you watching my videos is enough for me. And see, once you have the backing on, you have an opening here and an opening here. And as you can see, this opening is a lot bigger than the opening that's down here. I will also say the tips that I'm using are not C-curve tips, and if you use a C-curve tip, it will give you a larger opening. So when you go to seal the tank, you can either seal in this side first, or you can seal in this side first. It's kind of going to depend on what you're putting inside of here, because if you can see, and this is even the thumbnail, there's not a lot of space. Also, if these were square tips, there would be more space, like it'd be longer, but because it is a coffin, it is more narrow. So there's not a lot of space. There's also like not a huge arch here. So if I were to be putting like those little Fimo slices, or like those little metal charm things or whatever, or like even chunky glitter, it may or may not fit through this hole. So I'd have to seal this side and then fill from this side. But I will say, if you fill from this side, after you get the oil in, it is a lot trickier to seal it once that oil's in, because it is a bigger gap. This side is a lot easier to seal when there's nothing in there, but sometimes, you know, like I said, you have to fill from this side because what you're putting inside of here isn't going to fit through here. But because I'm not putting any of that in and I'm just doing the liquid inside of here, I can fill this side. So I will show you how I do that. I do like to, let me move these out of the way. And I cannot breathe. Sorry. My allergies are so bad right now, and also I have asthma, and I had COVID. I got COVID last August, July, I don't know. I got COVID and it really messed up like my lungs and my breathing and stuff. So I'm like out of breath all the time. And it doesn't help that I have asthma on top of that. But anyhow, so I'm just going to take some of that rhinestone glue and just put it right down in here and kind of use that ledge that's there to scrape it off. And then I'm just going to kind of smush it in. I do tend to hold it like flat, like this, like horizontally. That way the glue's not running down into the tank and taking up that space. But this glue is honestly not running at all. So I am just going to make sure that everything is sealed up. Try and make this as flat as possible to give enough space for like my nail. Because like I said, if this hits up against your tip, it's kind of uncomfortable. Like your fingertip. It's really uncomfortable, so that's why I do leave a lot of space. I also, you know, try to smush that down as much as possible. That way, it's not, you know, pushing into my fingertip there. And then I just stick that in the lamp. I'm gonna go ahead and cure that so it doesn't, like, spread out. Now, this one, which is the pointer, I feel like it's already kind of sealed up on its own. I might have pushed it too far down into the rhinestone glue. Let me see. If I can even... I don't think I'm going to be able to get that in there without... Actually, I think that's just sealed up anyhow. Okay, well, you're going to see how I do this from this side then as well. But anyhow, just to make sure that is sealed, I am just going to apply a little bit of glue on there. I think it's already sealed up. Like I said, I think I pushed this one down a little too far into the glue. And again, just trying to get it as flat as possible, so then at the end I don't really have to do much filing, so I don't have to worry about breaking that seal. And we're just going to cure that. Move on to this one. Let me do this. Okay, so I have a bowl of water here. Because like I said, I'm going to mix food coloring into this water and then like do oil and water in here. But I have the normal food coloring and I have the neon food coloring. I really want to do blue, but I feel like I always do blue. I should probably do something else, but I'm not. I'm doing blue. It's my favorite color. So I'm just going to grab my handy dandy dotting tool that I use to mix. Now I definitely don't need as much water as there is in here, but have that. I'm going to just do one. I'm going to start with one drop. We're going to see. I love how it looks when it like goes in there and it like spreads out. Oh, okay. I don't like the sound of that scraping on the bottom, but I kind of need to get all that up. Okay. I like that. We're going to keep it like that. And then I'm going to use this baby oil, and this syringe here is a blunt tipped syringe. Got it in a pack off Amazon with a bunch of different sized like tips. I like this one because it's the smallest one and it fits really well. Now this is where making aquarium nails can get a little messy. So I just stick it right in the hole and then pull the plunge. It's a little difficult to do with just one hand, but also I think this syringe low-key has a little bit of a clog in it. Okay, you know what? That's gonna be good enough for now. I don't even need that much anyhow. Okay, so I just going to stick the needle in there and then squeeze slowly, very slowly, squeeze oil into the nail. You want to do this slowly because it will also help you figure out if there's a hole anywhere and if you have any leaks. Which so far so good. I am going to fill it up most of the way with oil. You can see that up to there. Now the rest of that oil, I'm just going to squeeze that back down into the bottle. Ideally, you should probably have 2 different syringes for this, but I do not. I don't know what happened to all the other ones that I have. And I'm going to set that in the cap so it's not sitting all the way down. I'm just going to get some of my blue water. And then I'm going to just slowly squeeze that in. Oh, I should have done less oil. That was a little too much oil. Ah! Okay. I need a wipe. Because a lot of that just spilled out. Okay, so all the water settled down to the bottom. I wonder if I should have left an air bubble. Oh, wait. Nope, I think that it's kind of slow. It's fine. Maybe I should have left an air bubble. Usually I don't leave air bubbles because when you put stuff inside of them, like it gets stuck. But I feel like an air bubble might have helped with. I can actually create an air bubble if I just kind of dump a little out. Okay, there we go. It's a small air bubble. think for this I do need a little bit of an air bubble to get it moving. Okay, I think that worked. I'm just holding it with my finger, but like, you're gonna trying to see it moving in there, right? It doesn't move a whole lot. I think I did too much of the water. That's okay, I'll do less next time. Less of everything next time. Less oil, less water. Okay, so once you get all your stuff and your oil, your water, whatever you put it in there, you do want to seal it up with your glue. I just need a little bit, not a lot. And again, I do kind of like to hold it more flat. It's a lot easier because it's not completely filled up, but how I usually do it, I kind of have to hold it at a little bit more of an upright angle, but because it's not completely filled, there is that like air bubble right there. None of it's coming out. But anyhow, just put the glue right there on top. Probably is a good idea to wipe the nail off with a little bit of alcohol, especially with using oil. But I've never had like an issue with adhesion. So I am just going to go ahead and cure that. I hold it in there like up off the bottom of the, so it's not laying flat on the bottom of the lamp before I set it down, so that way it doesn't like run and cure onto the lamp, if that makes sense. Yeah, this would definitely work be a lot easier if I had 2 different syringes, because now I have to go back and forth. There's a little bit of the oil or the water still in there. I wonder if I can just go through and fill all these up with oil. I'm gonna try, and I'll set them up in this. Oh man, this is the one that I have to fill on the bigger side. Okay. I'm going to, I guess, do about that much. Can you see that? I don't know which snail is which now, and I don't think anything's moving. Cool. Well, that was too big of an air bubble. So now nothing moves. Okay, that one kind of works. Not that great though. Oh, I need to file the edge. This one, is there even an air bubble in this? Yeah. I wonder if I shake it up. Okay, no, it doesn't move. I should have been checking these as I was going. Cool. Most of them don't move. Whatever. Just gonna go with it. I'm gonna use this gel. Kinda like it, kinda don't. A little bit of a pain to work with. I got it off of Amazon. This is what it looks like. You definitely have to mix it up before you use it, otherwise it's like because the silver and like the base that it's in, like the pigment and stuff, are separated. So you have to mix it up. But this stuff is super liquidy. I don't know if you can tell. Super liquidy, super runny. It's like painting with water, honestly. Also, if you mess up and you need to wipe it off, it smears all over the nail before it comes off of the nail, which is a little bit annoying. I'm using my 12mm liner brush to do this. I'm just going to hold them instead of trying to put them on the stand. I didn't wipe off the Sharpie mark, and I am just going to leave it. Just paint over it. It's fine. You should probably wipe it off though. Also, with this, you gotta make sure you're doing super thin layer because it will wrinkle, and it wrinkles so easily and so quickly. And like, you can't really tell how thin of a layer you're doing, or if you're doing too thick of a layer with how watery it is. So, just try really hard to do super thin layers. Because like I said, this will wrinkle on you. Even if you do it even just a teeny tiny bit too thick, it will wrinkle. So, this set was quite a bit of a fail. The stuff isn't moving in here. I thought maybe I might have figured it out on how to get food coloring to move better inside of an aquarium nail, but maybe not. Ooh, you know what? I wonder if it's because I'm using baby oil. Because, you know, when you make those little DIY water bottle lava lamps, you use like vegetable oil or something. I'm like, I mean, I feel like oil is oil, but maybe not. Maybe it is different. So maybe that's why this wasn't so successful, but also like I don't want to put vegetable oil in the nail because then it's going to be yellow, and I don't want it to be yellow. I want it to be clear. So I don't know, maybe that had something to do. Maybe that has something to do with why it wasn't so successful with this. I don't know. I mean, could be that. It could be I just didn't, you know, my ratios weren't right or something, or I don't know. It's always trial and error whenever you try something new. Okay, so with this metallic chrome, or whatever you want to call it, gel polish, as you can see, it is super shiny minus my fingerprints all on it, but it is really shiny and mirrored. Like, you know, it'd be even more mirrored if my fingerprints weren't all over it. And it does have that nice smooth like chrome look to it. You don't have to top coat it because it does cure without a sticky layer. It also says like you don't have to top coat it on the listing, and like whenever you buy these they always say that, because like that is the best way you're going to okay, it's all over my hand. That is the best way you are going to like get that shiny mirrored chrome effect. The only problem with that is it does scrape off super easy. So like if you do paint your nails with this or do any kind of nail art with it and you don't top coat it, it is going to end up scraping off. It's super easy to just like scrape off. I'm not going to scrape it off because then I have to go back over, but it does scrape off super easy. So I definitely recommend putting a top coat on, and this is going to be a pain in the butt to top coat it since I don't have them on the stand, but I'm going to use my LGN shiny top coat. This is my favorite top coat. I absolutely love it. It's super shiny. It stays shiny for, you know, weeks. I typically leave my nails on for like 4-ish weeks and they stay super shiny all 4 weeks. It also doesn't stain. So like I dye my hair a lot. I don't know why I'm not painting these as I'm talking. I dye my hair a lot, and I do like, I need to wipe this off. Let me show you that real quick. You see how it's separating? Can you see like the polish separating from, it kind of looks like little bubbles and dips. That's because there's oil on it. Always, whenever you do aquarium nails, make sure you wipe them off real good with some alcohol before you top coat to, okay. Well, so wiping, ew, why is it like, I was not expecting that. This is an absolute fail. That is like, okay. Well, as we just saw, the silver like wiped off. And it's all like sticky and gross. Okay. I'm just gonna top coat it. And if the top coat separates, it separates, I guess. Because what was that? I'm just gonna top coat. Anyhow, you should wipe off with alcohol before polishing or top coating. I honestly wasn't thinking about that. But if you do have separation, even if you don't do an aquarium nail, yeah, just wipe off with alcohol, or you can do, like, if you don't realize you have that separation until after you've cured it, you can do a second coat of top coat and it will cover it. Okay, so I just went ahead and finished top coating them off camera. I would recommend top coating the back sides as well, just to make sure everything is like super clear, but I didn't do that and I didn't feel like doing it because, I don't know, this side is already a hot mess and a big fail because nothing moves. And then this nail, when I wiped it off, and then you can see the Sharpie mark through it, and I mean, I guess it wasn't a complete fail because I didn't have any leaks, but like, look at this, it doesn't move at all. It moves through that bubble, like when the bubble breaks through it. Okay, if I can get it to focus, like you can see the bubble, like the water, and it doesn't move. And the oil, like, they don't move around. And then in this one where I have the bigger bubble, it just doesn't move at all. Like, look at that. That one wasn't a big enough bubble. This one was too big of a bubble. I think this one was kind of successful, maybe. I mean, I feel like this one has the best movement out of all of them, if you can see. But it's still not the greatest. But it's definitely better. Yeah, I think this one also doesn't move because the bubble is too big, I guess. But I don't know, because I feel like that bubble, I don't know. You know, you win some, you lose some. This one also doesn't move. Okay, well, I did say this was just an experiment because I wasn't sure how this was gonna work. Works better if you don't do the water. Like the what's it called? The food coloring moves in the oil on its own a little better than it does when it's mixed in with the water. I don't know what's going on there and why it's not working. But here's what they look like. Wait, maybe I should put them this way. Like, they're cute. They look like lava lamps. They just don't function like a lava lamp. I mean, even though they don't move, like, that's still cute, I feel like. Like, that's just a cute lava lamp set. Right? I think so, at least. They kind of look like soda bottles. You know, like the glass soda bottles? I don't know. I'm saying this set was a fail just because nothing moved. It didn't work out like I was hoping, but also it's kind of not a fail because it's still a really cute set. And like, you could still wear them like this even though they don't move. I don't know. But I was also able to walk you guys through doing aquarium nails a little bit. You know, show you kind of what to do, what not to do. Don't worry, I have plenty of other aquarium nails in the works. I have a bunch of ideas that I want to do. So hopefully we'll get some successful aquarium nails here coming up. Because, like I said, I have quite a few ideas that I want to do. But that is it for this video. If you watched this whole thing and you've made it this far, congratulations, because this was a long one. I think this might be my longest video that I have ever done. And I feel bad that it is this. Okay, my arm is like... I do kind of feel bad that it is this long, but also, like I said, I was able to go a little more into depth and detail about how to do these aquarium nails to hopefully help a little better for those that are looking into doing aquarium nails or wanting to try them out. I do want to do an aquarium set, like do the other method of just doing it like directly on your nail instead of doing it, you know, through the dash method. When that will be, I don't know, because I have like some ideas in mind that I want to do on myself, but we'll see. I'll get there eventually, and it'll probably be another ridiculously long video. But anyhow, like I said, if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for sticking around and watching and listening to me ramble on about nothing. Thank you so much again for 1,000 subscribers, 1,001 subscribers. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. All of you that like and comment, and even if you just watch and you don't like and comment, like, I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, even though it was super long. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Ooh, I should probably put them on and show you guys instead of ending it here. Huh. I'll include some clips after this to show you guys what they look like on. But yeah, that's it, and I will see you guys in the next one.